Hi friends, and welcome back to the Baseball Card Illustrated channel. I'm Bronko, the PSA 11, and this is the Bottom 9, a weekly series where I compile a list to chronicle something happening in sports, the card community, or whatever comes to mind. This week's topic, as football month on the channel rolls along, is the Bottom 9 autographed football helmets in my collection. Number 9. One of the most feared players ever to play the game, not to mention the main eventer at WrestleMania 11, Lawrence Taylor was so good he changed the game. He is one of only 2 defensive players to ever win the AP NFL MVP award. The other is someone named Alan Page. Taylor helped the Giants win 2 Super Bowls. He won 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards and was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. LT was almost as legendary for his off-the-field exploits as he was for what he did on Sunday afternoons. However, in terms of sheer ability to dominate a game, few have ever been in LT's league. Number 8. Reggie White was a game-changer on the defensive line and when he signed with the Green Bay Packers. The fortunes of the green and gold were on the rise before the Minister of Defense, which is a great nickname by the way, came to Titletown, but he helped the Lombardi Trophy return to the frozen tundra a few years after inking a deal to become teammates with a young quarterback named Favre. Or maybe it was Favre. I was able to snag this autograph a couple years before his much too soon passing, and it has been a treasured part of my collection ever since. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and please consider clicking the subscribe button. You may be surprised to know that I, Bronko, am a fan of the Denver football team. Number 7 on the Bottom 9 list is usually skipped on the weekly countdown because it is retired in honor of my favorite player, John Elway. However, this week, the Duke is in the countdown on my favorite logo and helmet design in team history. And trust me, if you look closely, you will see an autograph on here that looks much better in person. For the record, my favorite jersey the team has ever utilized was the Orange Crush jersey of this era. It's a cold day in Kansas City, see what I did there, when I put anything involving the football team from Missouri ahead of the Broncos. But there is a good story behind this helmet and the player who signed it. Number 6 on the list is Larry Johnson, not to be confused with the former UNLV basketball standout. Anywho, years ago, I was in a fantasy league at work and picked him up as a flyer to add depth to my roster, and it just so happened to be right before Priest Holmes got hurt. LJ moved into the starting lineup and ran all over the NFL and guided me to a rare fantasy football title, so I do have a debt of gratitude to a player who played for the wrong team. As for the helmet itself, it is the only one on my list which I did not obtain the autograph in person. I actually purchased it at a charity event, and I would encourage all of you to check out the Love for Lexi Foundation if you're looking for a cause to support. Number 5. If you thought me putting something representing the Paris of the Plains on the list, yes, I googled nicknames for that Missouri town, was a stretch, well, next I offer up my least favorite thing associated with my favorite town, Vegas, baby! But we're talking about Bo freaking Jackson. You may recall the commercial, baseball, basketball, but not surfing, Bo knows. We're talking about Mr. Tecmo Super Bowl here. He was a lot of fun to watch. He just played for the wrong team. Number 4. When you mention the name Bo Jackson, the name Brian Bosworth follows in the minds of many. It was the matchup America wanted to see, and it was on Monday Night Football. Bo won the battle as he ran over the Seattle linebacker when the two clashed at the Seahawks' 2-yard line, carrying the defender into the end zone. Jackson also sprinted 91 yards for a touchdown that took him into the tunnel as part of a 221-yard performance that night. While the flamboyant linebacker was never the same player in the pros that he was in college, he is still a legendary figure in the sport. Closer to home, I used to coach a player on my youth football team that got the nickname Boz, and I actually got him an 8x10 signed by the Oklahoma standout at the same time that I got this mini helmet signed. He wasn't an NFL legend, but he does have a special place in my collection for what it represents. Number 3. I can't exactly explain why Mike Allstott resonated with me, other than a number of my friends and family members were and still are fans of the Buccaneers, so I was subjected to more Tampa Bay football than I probably should have been during his playing days. I guess I also felt a connection to the running back because the A-Train played at Purdue, which is one of the schools I considered when choosing a college. Allstott was a 6-time Pro Bowl pick, earned All-Pro honors 3 times, and was a part of the Bucs' Super Bowl 37 victory over the Raiders. Plus, even though he rarely wore this helmet design, I've always thought it looked cool, so I had the fullback sign this one rather than the more customary look the team essentially still uses to this day. Number 2. Tecmo Super Bowl is my favorite video game of all time, and it's not even close. And there is no video game character I loved playing with more than QB Eagles. That, of course, is Randall Cunningham. He could run, he could throw, he could do it all, both in real life and in 8-bit glory. When I had the chance to get his autograph, it took me a little bit of time to build up the courage to ask him to inscribe QB Eagles, his name in the game due to a licensing issue, but he not only did it with a smile, he noted that he gets the request quite often. My biggest video game adversary, and eventually one of my favorite players, Ronnie Lott, is number 1 on this list. For those that know the player, I don't need to explain why. However, my buddy Scuba Steve and I met in an epic championship game one year in our annual Tecmo Super Bowl tournament. I was the Eagles, as usual, and he was the Niners. It was QB Eagles versus Ronnie Lott. Both players at their best, in excellent video game health. Long story short, I didn't win, and the Niners were banned from subsequent tournaments because Ronnie Lott was simply unstoppable in this showdown. In the years after that ESPN video game instant classic, I read up and watched a lot of video about Ronnie Lott and learned that I just got a taste of what it was like going up against the real Ronnie Lott. In fact, I grew to admire and respect him so much that as a defensive coordinator for a youth football team, I always gave the captain of my defense the number 42 in honor of Lott. As I would tell that person each season, there are 98 numbers that their teammates can select for any reason they want, but only one person is chosen to wear the number 42 for our team. And that's the bottom 9, 'cause Bronko said so. Thanks for watching this video. If you're wondering what the helmet was in the thumbnail, it's just a Pro Football Hall of Fame helmet that I photoshopped an autograph on. Now, let's give away some cards. If you entered a guess for the final score of the big game on the bottom 9 last week, the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame ballot, you became eligible to win a prize package of the Super Bowl 55 starting quarterbacks, Tom Brady of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the guy from that dog and pony show in Missouri. Okay, it is time for us to select a winner of this prize package of the Super Bowl starting quarterbacks, Tom Brady of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that guy that takes the snaps for the football team from Missouri. I'll let you know that our contestants are the one and only Bud Stoney, Todd Richardson, Autographs 2000, George the Collector, Jeffrey K., Huncho Poppin' Packs, Eddie's Baseball Autographs, Brandon Stebbins, Math Bowler, Topps Vintage 316, Kaysen 2006, Brett Stone, Darren Murray, Ethan Hathaway, David M., Don't Talk to Robots, and Zach's Sports Cards and Collectibles, a channel that I definitely recommend you check out. I'll also let you know that we had 17 entries, and the football team from Missouri came out on top by a 10-7 margin over the Buccaneers. And the average score when compiling all these numbers was football team from Missouri 30.6, Tampa Bay 27.3. So if that is the exact final score of the game Sunday, including the decimal point, everybody will get a prize. I don't exactly know how any team's going to score 0.6 points or a third of a point, but if it happens, not only will you have seen history, everybody's going to get a prize. But more importantly, right now, let's select a winner of these quarterbacks. Also, just a reminder that Mystery Mondays, you can still enter for your chance to win the prize package of the Tecmo Super Bowl prize package of your choice between me, my team, Team Bronco, and Team Scuba Steve. And it looks like the winner of the quarterbacks is going to be George the Collector. So congratulations, George. These cards will be on their way to you. And I hope everybody has a good weekend, enjoys Super Bowl 55, stays safe, parties hard, and checks into the Saturday shoot-around. So long, everybody. You've been watching the Baseball Card Illustrated channel.